I'm glad that we're here, but this should have happened a long time ago. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo resigning from office effective in 14 days from today, and today's date is Tuesday, August 10th, 2021. Now, like I said from the start, I'm glad that we're here, so I don't want anyone to get it twisted, as the cool kids say. Don't get confused. I'm glad that we're right here, and that scumbag of a governor needs to go ahead and hit the road. However, this should have happened a long time ago for a variety of reasons. Now, there's quite a few reasons I think that he went ahead and resigned, but let's talk about the main thing first and then other things that are surrounding it. Now, we all saw, or most of you may have seen, that the Attorney General for New York, Letitia James, put out this scathing report about sexual harassment happening in the workplace as it relates to Andrew Cuomo and some of these, unwanted advances, unnecessary kissing and touching, X, Y, and Z. And the craziest thing that he did, I'm not sure if it was an act of defiance. He's a lawyer himself, so I don't know if he took his own advice, if he didn't go out and get an actual lawyer to help him through this whole thing. But he put out this really cringy video, and I'll link to that in the box, where he was saying that he's Italian and he shows affection. It's kind of a cultural thing. He does it to men and to women. And he was showing pictures of different people that he was kissing and touching. I'm like, all right, man, like this is not going to help your case, because you can't just say, oh, it's a cultural thing, when you, Andrew Cuomo, were the guy that was talking about Me Too as it relates to Brett Kavanaugh. Because from what I know, and forgive me, if I'm wrong about this, let me know in the comments. I'm no Albert Einstein here, as you all may know. But the whole Me Too movement does not really leave room for cultural things or any kind of nuance or anything like that. If a woman says you did X, Y, and Z, then you got to believe her. Believe all women, right? That's one of their core things. It's one of their mantras. So if you're engaging in that when it comes to Brett Kavanaugh talking about have a full investigation and don't vote, don't confirm them, all this and that, well, the same thing must apply to you. So this whole cultural excuse does not make a difference, because you yourself set the standard. Live by the sword, die by the sword. And that's what's happening right now for Andrew Cuomo. And I don't feel no ways tired, as Hillary Clinton tried to say, but I'll move on. That's why we're here right now, in my humble opinion, because after that report came out, and even before that, there was rumblings of an impeachment. He should resign from within New York and their government, from Democrats in New York, going on TV, going on Fox News. You got Democrats in New York going on Fox News saying we need to go ahead and get him fired, or he needs to resign. Same thing, CNN, they're everywhere talking about this. So the pressure was on his back from the allegations from women. And going back to this whole thing about, I'm Italian, is what we do, mozzarella, pizza, all this and that and the third, Mario 64 video game. He said all that, but he didn't talk about those that accuse him of straight up some criminal type stuff, doing things that are just beyond a kiss on the cheek or something like that, doing things you wouldn't be doing with your family members and whatnot, things that cannot be excused with a cultural reason. You're talking about straight assault. And as a matter of fact, they're kicking around possible criminal charges as it relates to Andrew Cuomo and some of the accusations. Now, I can't say he's innocent or guilty or anything. He's innocent until proven guilty. I'll say that as far as any kind of criminal charges. However, the allegations of sexual harassment and inappropriate touching, he all but confessed that, talking about, well, I'm Italian and I do it to men and women, and it's not a thing that I'm trying to sexually harass women. That was his excuse, but it does not apply to everything he's being accused of, and there could be some criminal charges still, right? That is the reason, in my humble opinion, why he is out of office. However, this shouldn't have been the straw on the camel's back. It shouldn't have been that, because we all know what he did before this, or in the midst of all this going on, and that was the whole nursing home scandal. How many seniors died? Was it thousands of seniors that died in nursing homes unnecessarily during the pandemic? And he was going on TV all the time. I'll talk about that in a minute, the whole Emmy thing. I'll talk about that. He was going on TV talking about how well they're doing and cases are going down, all this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, you got nursing homes just falling apart, seniors dropping like flies in a nursing home. His policy was to put virus-infected patients into the nursing home. There was no excuse to do this because they had all the resources. There's plenty of hospitals. And Trump sent on this whole big hospital boat with like 1,200 beds and 1,200 staff. And the staff are pretty much left doing nothing, playing on their cell phones and chilling. They treated like 20 patients on that boat throughout the entire time it was there. And if the number is not exactly right, forgive me, but it was nowhere near the 1,200. It was 20, 30, 40, maybe 50, something like that. Nowhere near the hundreds, let alone the 1,200 capacity. So rather than putting them on that boat, to put them in a nursing home. Now, was it a political thing to spite Trump saying, you know what, we don't need your help, we got it here? I don't know what it was, but whatever the reasoning behind his policy, it doesn't even really matter because it was his policy. And many seniors died unnecessarily. Shout out to Janice Dean from Fox News. Her in-laws, both of her in-laws, mother-in-law, father-in-law, died in a New York nursing home. And not only in New York City, obviously, you're talking about the entire state because it's not the mayor of New York City. That's a whole different ball of wax right there, Bill de Blasio. We're talking about the governor of the state of New York. So that was a thing that should have got him maybe up on criminal charges, and he should have most certainly been impeached or resigned as it relates to that. So like I said from the beginning, I'm glad that we're here. This is a great moment in time, but it should have happened a long time ago. And quite frankly, I think that whole thing about resigning is a way for him to kind of evade some of the criminal charges, is to evade the embarrassment of an impeachment because he was going to get impeached. Well, possibly he might have got impeached and it would have gone through because the left have been throwing away their allies lately, been throwing them away. When you're on top, when you're the guy, when you're the man, they love you. Michael Avenatti, same thing. They interviewed him hundreds of times, talking about you could be the next president, all this and that and the third. And at the end, he gets locked up, thrown in the penitentiary, and all the networks, you CNN, the MS-13, DNC, they all turn their backs on him. The same thing will happen here with Andrew Cuomo. And his brother, Chris, is going to get the axe next. Okay, remember they were on CNN talking about how, Don Lemon talking about you got a crush on Andrew Cuomo or bromance. And then he going there with his brother with the giant Q-tip playing around, talking about my mom like better than you. All that was going on when everything was going well when they thought he was doing good. But now, after the nursing home scandal, after the sexual harassment scandal, okay, throw you away. And Chris Cuomo over on CNN, his brother, like I said, will probably get the boot next because you are a useful idiot, but you no longer have a use. So we'll throw you away. Like everyone else we don't want to do anything with anymore. Al Franken, another one. I'm surprised Jeffrey Toobin's back on there. But you know what? I feel like they're kind of embarrassing him because they had that interview where it was really cringe talking about you were on tape doing something you shouldn't have been doing. They said what he was doing. It was really gross, but I digress. Let's go back to all the accolades that Andrew Cuomo received while he was the governor during this pandemic. He got an Emmy Award for going on TV a lot, doing those updates, talking about he used television to calm the residents of New York and to bring peace, all this and that. He had an Emmy Award for doing that. So does he give that back now? Like, how does that really work? Because we now know that there was a bunch of lies happening in those press conferences. Okay, you didn't talk about all the singers that were dying in the real way in those press conferences. You didn't talk about how you messed up in those press conferences. You didn't talk about all the women that came against you in those press conferences. You were just saying whatever needed to be said from your point of view. If you want to attack Trump or whatever, it's great. You're praised for that. You got a big book deal. And I feel like the book deal, in my humble opinion, I'm not saying this is fact. I'm giving you my 100% opinion here. I feel like book deals when it comes to political figures are kind of a way of like money laundering or giving the political gift and disguising it. Because he got millions of dollars for that book. And if I'm wrong about the numbers that he got as far as any kind of financial compensation, let me know in the box. But he got paid a lot of money, but the book didn't really sell well. It went triple plastic, triple aluminum, not gold, platinum, diamond, none of that. It went triple aluminum, didn't sell very well at all, but he still got paid plenty of money, still got plenty of airtime, still got an Emmy, and now he has resigned, and they might throw him in jail. This is what happens all the time. And I always say, shout out to Yuri Bezmenov, former KGB agent, who predicted all of this in the 80s, early 80s, 82, 80. He said this will all happen. Okay, when you are a useful idiot for a totalitarian government, you know, government's kind of like one system, dictatorship. When you do everything for them, when you're a soldier for them, and you're no longer needed, they are pretty much done with you. They throw you away. Oh, you thought you were going to be the president, Michael Avenatti? You thought you were going to be a presidential candidate, Andrew Cuomo? Nah, you're messing up, sir. So we're going to go ahead and throw you away right now. You might even get locked up. I think that's the reason why he's facing what he's facing, is because he messed up too much and they said, all right, you're done. And as I close, I want to say this. The fact that you got Andrew Cuomo resigning from office and they're talking about criminal charges lets us know this whole thing with Donald Trump and Brett Kavanaugh, all these quote unquote allegations are nonsense. Okay, they spent many years on Russia. They spent a bunch of time trying to destroy Brett Kavanaugh. They put Christine Blasey Ford on the cover of Time magazine, but yet no criminal charges, no resignation, no nothing from them. But look at Andrew Cuomo, Michael Avenatti, all these guys, throwing them away. Funny how that works, but hey, like I said, at a certain point in this video, when you live by the sword, you die by that. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Andrew Cuomo resigning from office? Was it a long time coming? Do you want to see more? Do you want to see possible criminal charges filed? You want to see him get thrown in the penitentiary? Big rocks, little rocks? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at with it. I say this has been a long time coming, and it's not quite enough. I want to see more for sure. I want him to go all the way. Okay, put him in the gulag. Let him be. Let him get a gulag somewhere upstate New York, and he could be chilling. Rather than being outside hanging out with Barack Obama at Martha's Vineyard, you could be in there creating new rocks from old rocks. That's how I feel about it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.